This is the 27th season of the Football League playoffs, and they seldom disappoint. Welcome to Wembley Stadium. I'm Nick London, your commentator for the 2013 League One playoff final between Brentford and Yoevil. The referee there is Andy Durso, very experienced official, with Derek Eaton and Alan Young, his assistants. And the players and officials are in the process of meeting our presentation committee. That's Wayne Mitchell, the Industrial and Commercial Markets Director of NPAL, the sponsors of the Football League, Greg Clark, the Football League Chairman, and the man they call JC, the founder of the Movember system, whereby people in the UK grow beards and moustaches in the month of November and raise funds for prostate cancer UK. I can't guarantee you goals, but we can be sure of a game played at a high tempo between two teams who will both try and play cultured football on the impressive Wembley turf. The national anthem will be sung by Bella Fiore, an impressive operatic trio. Yoevil town, it's not a big town, let me tell you. They have brought over 17,000 spectators to Wembley Stadium today, and it's a fair old journey as well, 135 miles, most of it on the A303. Brentford, it's only less than 7 miles from their stadium to Wembley. They've brought over 22,000 spectators. Let's take a look at the team, starting with Brentford, who'll be playing in their familiar red and white stripes. Manager Yoevil has decided to stick with the same starting 11 that eventually saw off Swindon on penalties in the playoff semi-final second leg. So that means that Marcello Trotta will support Clayton Donaldson up front, and that Harry Forrester will continue on the left wing for Brentford. Yoevil have had a settled lineup recently, and their manager Gary Johnson has no new injuries or suspensions to cope with. So he too keeps the side that started both their semi-final meetings with Sheffield United. Watch out for their strike force of James Hayter and Paddy Madden. Well, Brentford have been away from the second tier of English football since 1993. That's far too long for their fans' liking, and that stay lasted just one season. As for Yoevil, they could be about to experience a new level in the pyramid by reaching the Championship for the first time in their history. Well, there's Clayton Donaldson, top scorer for Brentford this season, 24 goals in all competitions, including 2 in the playoff semi-final second leg against Swindon. Had a spell in Scotland as well. And there's Paddy Madden, he's Yeovil Town's top scorer. Astonishingly, 22 league goals. 21 of them scored for Yeovil since joining them in the January transfer window from Carlisle. Astonishing stuff. Well, there's Yoevil. Distinguished playing career that took in 12 clubs, including the likes of Nuremberg and Manchester City. Short spell with Southampton too. And there are the two captains, Jamie McAllister, and for Brentford, central defender Tony Craig. The manager of Yoevil Town is Gary Johnson, back for his second spell. Well, they say you shouldn't go back. He did pretty well in the first spell, and Yoevil just seems to be home for him. The waiting is nearly over, and it's been quite a wait, with a 13-day gap since the semi-final second legs were played on Monday the 6th. One of these teams is heading for the championship, and we're about to find out which one, even if it takes extra time, and even if it takes penalty kicks, if they can't be separated in 90 minutes. Yoevil in green will get the game underway. And straight away, Ed Upson knocks it back to Byron Webster. It's interesting, the ball's gone long, straight forward from Webster. And that is not typical Yoevil. They're a team that like to get the ball on the ground. Gary Johnson is that sort of manager. Didn't take long for the first foul to be awarded by referee Andy Durso, 49-year-old from Essex. This is the 21st time in his career that he's refereed a Brentford game. Donaldson eased off the ball by McAllister. It's nominally a 4-4-2 for Brentford, but they will send Donaldson wide and leave Trotter up on his own on occasion. Not the crispest of clearances there from Dan Burn. And the tackle's flying in early with two inside the first 60 seconds. A pause for breath now as the captain, Jamie McAllister, sees to his nose before he takes this free kick. And I think if he's asking his goalkeeper Marek Stech if there's a little bit of blood, I think the answer will be a positive one. And of course the rules are very strict on any blood, and that will have to be cleared before play can continue, or certainly before McAllister can continue his involvement. It was a very tight League One this season. Very tight indeed, just 5 points separated Brentford in third and Swindon in sixth. That's how it happened in the challenge with Clayton Donaldson. Well, it is a raised arm, but I wouldn't accuse Donaldson of anything malicious. It's both cut and swollen. Well, having a close look at that and trying to decide what size plaster to put on it. Been a fantastic season for Yoevil Town. They really celebrated after their victory over Sheffield United in the second leg on Monday the 6th, with Gary Johnson, their manager, right in the middle of it all. But then he's brought them back down to earth by saying that we're not going to Wembley to be tourists. And the referee is going to ask for McAllister to leave the pitch in a moment, because he's able to walk off. We've had quite a delay since this happened, right at the end of the first minute. But they have got to staunch the flow of blood before McAllister can continue. Anxious moments for Yoevil boss Gary Johnson. He doesn't want to have to reshuffle his defence, which has been so settled with McAllister, the 35-year-old, on the left-hand side of it. Has played for Scotland, got a cap against Trinidad and Tobago in a friendly in the days of Bertie Volts. Well, this delay has now gone on for 2.5 minutes. Uwe Rösler just having a word there with the fourth official, Graham Scott. Well, a bit of petroleum jelly on the nose has sorted out Jamie McAllister. Played under Johnson at Bristol City as well. When he was released by them, Yoevil swooped to bring him to Hughes Park. But McAllister's okay and just waiting for the signal to come back into play. Marek Štek, Czech Republic goalkeeper, hits that long. Trotter tries to win the ball for Brentford. A little bit of space now for Sam Foley. Edwards' ball forward, will it drop for Madden? Instantly blocked, and importantly, because Paddy Madden, as he has shown since joining Yoevil, is a player who really does know where the goal is. Well, there's the ball from Edwards. Dawson battled away for it, but Madden's shot was blocked. Diaguraga taking no chances all the way back to his goalkeeper, Simon Moore. Two very good goalkeepers on show today, by the way. Simon Moore of Brentford, 23 years old today. What a way to celebrate your birthday this could be. You remember it one way or the other. Here's Trotter. Ayling in well. Well, the head tennis ends with Sam Foley in possession. He's thinking about a shot, a long way out. Oh, it's stabbed into the net! Brilliantly by Paddy Madden! Yoevil lead in the playoffs inside 6 minutes. Well, what an inspired signing he was by Gary Johnson. Foley with the break. It came off Logan, but look at that for a finish. He knew just what he was doing, Madden. And with the outside of his foot, he picks out the top corner. Oh, he couldn't have hit that any sweeter. 1-0 to Yoevil in the 2013 League One playoff final. Well, for Paddy Madden, League One's top scorer this season. It's his first goal in 7 games. But it's also his 23rd of a very impressive season, with the vast majority of those goals coming since he left Carlisle, initially on loan and subsequently permanently. You may just be able to hear the Yoevil fans singing One Adam Stansfield despite the goal celebrations. They are remembering Adam Stansfield, who is a former striker of theirs. He actually scored in the FA Trophy win over Stevenage in 2002. He died of colorectal cancer at the age of just 31 in August 2010. And he isn't forgotten. They do it in the 7th minute. That was his number as a Yoevil player, subsequently played for Hereford and Exeter City as well. Well, Brentford have got to get their heads sorted out, got to get themselves back into this game. Here's Diaguraga. There's something of the Patrick Vieira about him in midfield. Covers a lot of ground with those long legs. Craig with the ball forward. Ayling snaffles that for Yoevil. Steck sends that forward up towards Hayter. And here's Sam Foley, having a little run at Logan. Still Foley, oh, he's got in a tangle there. Well, that's confidently done by Donaldson, back helping his defenders. Well, I said at the beginning, the Football League playoffs seldom disappoint. And it's been a lively start at Wembley Stadium today. Mild, by the way, a little bit of hazy sunshine. Lovely conditions for the players. Not too hot and not too cold. Well, Hayes has kept that in, but only for the benefit of Donaldson. Good tackle by Donaldson, but the ball falls to Upson. And now room for Dawson to stretch his legs. Dawson, scorer of the first goal against Sheffield United in the second leg. They won 2-0. Yoevil trying to make himself, make himself heard. Well, if you add up the tickets sold and add in a few neutrals, we're expecting a crowd of over 40,000 at Wembley Stadium. And they're getting some good early entertainment. 10 minutes played and 1-0 to Yoevil. Ayling takes the free kick. Away by Adeyemi. It's probably there for Donaldson if he'd known where it was. Here's Diaguraga. Forshaw. And the first real involvement for Harry Forrester. Very talented winger, strikes the ball very, very cleanly. He's right-footed, playing on the left wing at the moment. But Luke Ayling is an accomplished fullback. Still only 21, a former FA Youth Cup winner in his young days with Arsenal. Foley couldn't grab of that one. Dean spreads the play. Forrester gets there ahead of Ayling, and that's now Ayling's ball. Now, Gary Johnson always sends his teams out to play good football. He likes a fairly straightforward 4-4-2 formation. Here's McAllister. Logan, looking for Trotter. Marcello Trotter on loan from Fulham. Joined them at the age of 16 from Manchester City after starting at Napoli. He's been through a few clubs already, with another 3 on loan, including Brentford at the moment. Here's Logan. That's too easy. Well, there's plenty of him. Big Dan Burn, 1m98, and about 6'7" if you prefer. Diaguraga, and now there's a little bit of room for Harry Forrester. Bidwell's on the overlap. Forrester doesn't use him, and Adeyemi was unlikely to trouble Marek Steck with a header from that far out. Brentford started as the bookmakers' favourites, 5-4 to win in 90 minutes. Both Yoevil and the draw were 5-2 against. I have to say it is a brave person who bets on the outcome of a playoff final match. Forrester. And you can see what the intention was. Intercepted. Upson. Here's Foley. Eased off the ball by Tom Adeyemi. Can Donaldson get to this? Burn just eases him off the ball. Here's Marek Steck to take the goal kick. Most of his time at West Ham United was spent on the substitutes bench. He's become Yeovil's #1. He's had an impressive season. Takes no chances with that one. Hasn't yet played for the Czech Republic national side, other than at under-21 level. Yoevil have only ever been in one previous playoff final. That was 6 years ago against Blackpool. They lost that 2-0. That was in the days of Russell Slade as their manager. That's a poor cross from Logan. Didn't make enough room to get a decent ball in. He wasn't confident enough to take on his man. Played a few games for Manchester City at the start of his career. Quarter of an hour played and Brentford have yet to threaten. Here's Forrester. Ball ends up with a goal kick, and it's been comfortable so far for Yeovil Town. Let's have another look at that goal. It's just beautifully put away by Paddy Madden. One touch to get the ball out of his feet, and another to make it 1-0 to the Somerset side. Here's Logan. It's not a great ball from Forshaw, and Logan can't keep it in. Edwards put under pressure there by the ball from Foley. And perhaps the foul from Adeyemi was the best thing that could have happened. It takes the pressure off Yoevil. McAllister leaves it for his goalkeeper. Coming back from offside, so the flag is raised. Free kick taken from too far forward. So Tony Craig will have another go. Instead he leaves it for his goalkeeper Simon Moore. He was a youth player at Southampton. He'd spelled with a couple of non-league teams before finding his way to Brentford. Helped by an injury to Richard Lee, who might otherwise have been Brentford's first choice. He's got a shoulder injury that's kept him out for a while. Untidy from Bidwell. He'll get a free kick at the end of it all, Jake Bidwell. On a season-long loan from Everton. Well, there are the men in green and white. By far the happier with 18 minutes played at Wembley Stadium. Dean will have to make sure he makes that his. Here's Adeyemi. Donaldson. Just Trotter in the middle at the moment. Oh, he's shown too much of that to Byrne. Dan Byrne is sticking very close to Clayton Donaldson. Well, Brentford find themselves trailing, but in the regular season they proved to be very resilient indeed. They mopped up 23 points from losing positions. There's a long way to go in this one. Dawson couldn't find Paddy Madden, but Yoevil will build again with a throw which Ayling takes. Gets it back from Dawson. Forward by Webster. Forrester to Diaguraga. Diaguraga spreads the ball to Forrester. That was neatly done, but the high boot has caught Luke Ayling. And Ayling's not making too much of a fuss of it. Ball just went a little bit higher there than Forrester had hoped for. Craig with the header. Bidwell, not the greatest clearance. Now one for Trotter to chase. Well, Byrne got himself in a tangle there. Showed too much of that to Marcelo Trotter. And he's conceded a free kick, quite unnecessarily. He is very raw, Byrne, and a little bit prone to too much shirt pulling and a few shoves and things like that. He's conceded a free kick, which Forrester will whip in. Good goalkeeping, that's what you want from your keeper. Marek Steck makes that his. Foley. Upson. He's just overhit that, and Ayling can't gather. Uwe Rösler acts as the ball boy. Rösler, who is assisted by a former Manchester City teammate in Alan Kernahan. Byrne gets his head to that. Edwards caught in possession, and here's Adeyemi for Brentford. Forshaw and Bidwell combining. Well, that's a little bit better from Brentford. We're halfway through the first half, and Brentford really yet to trouble the Yoevil goalkeeper Marek Steck. Bidwell with the cross. Trotter didn't get the connection he wanted, and Foley can bring it away for Yoevil. But there are just signs that Brentford are starting to calm themselves and play a bit of football. Donaldson has his ankles tapped by Foley. The referee's just making sure it's taken from the right place. He's in charge of 40 games this season, 97 yellows and 7 reds from Andy D'Urso. Actually, 97 yellows in 40 games isn't that bad, is it? Forshaw, straight onto the head of Ayling. Byrne rises. I think Byrne thinks he was pushed, but it's going to be a corner kick. Forrester is right-footed, so expect a flatter corner from this side. Wasn't expecting it to be that flat. Bidwell back to his goalkeeper. This was a corner to Brentford a moment ago. They certainly haven't made the most of it. Burn underneath that. Edwards fouled by Adeyemi. They have a simple system in the midfield with Yoevil. If Edwards goes forward, then Ed ups and holds, and vice versa. So when Edwards went forward, you can be sure that Upson would be keeping an eye on his defensive duties. But it's Upson who will take this free kick. Keeper's ball. That's what he wanted, one with a bit more whip. Yoevil have got a very good record against Brentford. They've won their previous 3 meetings, doubled them in the league this season. They've actually won 6 of the last 8 meetings and only lost 1 against Brentford. Diaguraga too easily dispossesses Kevin Dawson. Webster all the way back to his goalkeeper. Bostek has really done well there to prevent the corner and to make sure that when the throw was conceded, it was a good bit further forward. Got Byron Webster out of a bit of a hole because it wasn't the tidiest of back passes. Forshaw. Diaguraga. Here's Logan. Gets his cross in. Well, Ayling confidently away. A lot of defenders would have conceded a corner in that position. As it is, Brentford have a throw. Here's Forshaw. He's certainly deserted the right wing at the moment. Diaguraga seldom wastes a pass. Here's Harley Dean. He's just overrun that up. He'll get a free kick. Paddy Madden back with a striker's challenge. But that touch was a little bit heavy. Madden got nowhere near the ball. So Brentford have a free kick. What can they do with this? It's a long way out for a shot at goal. Well defended by Byrne. But Brentford enjoying more and more possession. They were stunned by that early goal, conceded inside 6 minutes. Forshaw with the corner, attacked by Dean. Burns in there and away by Edwards. This is much more like it from Brentford. It's taken them a while to find their rhythm. Here's Forshaw. Dawson gets the decision. Webster. Forward by Tony Craig, who knows about the playoffs, been involved with them in his days with Millwall. It's actually his 3rd playoff final in total. Forrest is not impressed. I think there was just too much holding and pushing. Here's McAllister. Hayter has hardly touched the ball so far. Here's James Hayter, trying to make up for it. experienced striker. 34 years old now, James Hayter. Probably remember him best in his 11 years at Bournemouth. And Kernahan sharing a few thoughts with Yoevil. Trotter mystified as to what he did wrong. Webster leaves the free kick for his captain, Jamie McAllister. Twice a playoff final loser, McAllister. Byrne is the target, and that is magnificent goalkeeping. Brave and effective from Simon Moore. He's got a whack in the face. And I think the whack comes from the head of Byrne. Watch Byrne's head. Yeah, it gets him right in the chin. But that is brave goalkeeping. Because Dan Byrne is an absolute giant of a man. Not that Simon Moore, at 1m91, is exactly short. 23 years old today and really is starting to mature as a goalkeeper. Very highly rated. Logan with Donaldson the target. Well, Brentford have had much more possession recently. What they haven't done is turn it into decent goal-scoring opportunities. Hayter picks up that loose ball and finds Foley. Little misunderstanding between Foley and Madden. Oh, it's a weak header from Byrne. Here's Donaldson. Logan makes room for the cross. Forrester in from the wing, but he can't get that one. Bidwell will try and keep the momentum going. Forshaw, I don't know if that was a shot at goal, it's a long way out. Adam Forshaw joined Everton at the age of 8 before coming to Brentford just short of 18 months ago. Ayling gets it back. Byrne brings in McAllister. Hayter makes himself available. Again, slight misunderstanding between Foley and Madden. Yoevil have just got to be a little bit careful. They need to keep possession better. Brentford will overrun them. Here's Edwards. Well, by finishing 4th in the League One table, Yoevil achieved a new high, just 2 points behind Brentford. They actually got 2 more victories than the Bees and scored 9 more goals. Finished a place behind the West London side. A bit of blood is being seen to. Well, the rules are very strict about any blood on the shirt. So the Brentford captain, Tony Craig, gets a new one. Sam Foley ran into Logan, perhaps looking for a free kick. Captain's armband is nicely in place, but there won't be a number on the back of Tony Craig's fresh, clean shirt. 28 years old now, Craig. And a real battler, can play either at left back or, as he tends to do for Brentford, at centre back. In his Millwall days, he's more usually used in the left. Bidwell. Now he's nudged off the ball there. Been a clean game so far, nothing approaching a nasty challenge as we move towards the final 10 minutes of the first half. Forshaw with the delivery, again claimed by the keeper and instantly released by Steck, trying to find Madden. Here's Ayling. Upson. Elson, unconventional 1-2, but it's worked pretty well. And then he looked for Madden, and I think that Foley was hoping the ball might come to him. 10 years now, Yoevil have been a Football League club. Prior to that, their whole history was outside the 92. Great FA Cup history, including famously beating Sunderland in 1949. They had a few memorable cup runs, but Sunderland were a very, very big noise in English football at the time. 3 times winners of the Southern League. They could really only dream that they would find themselves in a League One playoff final in 2013. Here's Logan. Kept in by Adeyemi, but only for McAllister's benefit. Here's Forrester. Still Harry Forrester. And you could see what he was thinking of. But Steck is a tall goalkeeper. 1m91. Not easy to chip him. Donaldson stays on his feet despite the contact. Here's Forshaw and now Bidwell. Well, Brentford building up on their left-hand side with Bidwell, Forshaw and Forrester trying to overload the Yoevil defence on that side of the pitch. But Ayling and Dawson doing a great job at the moment. Won by Byrne. Adeyemi. Byrne will look to leave that to run out for a goal kick. 38 minutes played nearly at Wembley Stadium. Brentford 0, Yoevil 1 the score. Remember, one of these teams is heading for the championship. Here's the run by Forrester. Well, I'm sure it was a shot, not a cross for Trotter. Craig pops the ball out for a throw. Edwards has won a corner kick. There's Tom Adeyemi, season-long loan from Norwich City, born in the city of Norwich and came through their youth teams, but he's had loans now at Bradford, Oldham and currently Brentford. And at 21 he doesn't seem on the verge of breaking into the Canaries' first team. Well, they like an in-swinging corner kick, so the left-footed McAllister has come right the way over to deliver this one. Byrne is up there, it's bound to be the target. Burn rises. Dean gets the header. Ayling joins in. Dawson too. And finally, the danger passes as the ball bobbles out for a goal kick to Brentford. But look at the size of Burn. And the difficulty caused in dealing with him. Somewhat surprised to see Adam Forshaw marking him. He was the closest man. Trotter, who's failed to make a real impression on this first 40 minutes. Donaldson spending a lot of time on the right wing. Trotter seems a little bit isolated. Forshaw's gone over to the left. It's not really resulting in a lot of chances for Brentford. It's calmly done by Upson. Foley pulls away from Logan. Dean is fortunate he didn't make contact. And Foley's cross put behind for a corner. Well, it's good old-fashioned wing play from Sam Foley. Couple of corners for each team. Upson delivers this one. Burn again gets his head to it. Was that over the line? Goal given by the linesman. And things are getting worse and worse for Brentford. Gary Johnson celebrates. Logan may have got the final touch, but it was the header from Big Dan Burn that caused the problem. Hayter's in there, and Hayter's claiming it. I'm not sure how much contact Hayter got. You might see better from here. Either way, what we do know is that it is now 2-0 to Brentford. Well, is there a touch from Hayter? I don't think so. That's what it means for Terry Skiverton and Gary Johnson. Skiverton, a former manager. Well, they look to be giving it to James Hayter. Well, Webster is being credited with the final touch. So Byron Webster it is who makes it 2-0. Well, the half started well for Yoevil with a goal after 6 minutes. Well, now they've got themselves another. This is going to be a very, very big and important second half for Brentford. What they could really do with is a goal just before half-time. Just to try and clear up the confusion, we believe that there was the merest touch from James Hayter, and so Yoevil's second top scorer moves on to 17 for the season. Well, 4 minutes are going to be added. Maybe this angle will show. Well, they've struggled to cope with the threat of Dan Burn from free kicks and corners, and it's proved expensive. At 1m96, 1m98 actually, takes a lot of dealing. And there is Burn with the challenge, and he comes away with the ball. Well, the goal's been given to Hayter, but there's no doubting Dan Burn's contribution. Madden closes down Simon Moore. Simon Moore certainly wouldn't blame him for either of the goals that he's conceded. There's confirmation. 4 minutes have been added to this half. Remember, we did have quite an injury break for a cut to Jamie McAllister's nose early on. Well, will Brentford manager Yoevil decide to change things at half-time? Hasn't got an awful lot more firepower to bring on. He could look to Bradley Wright-Phillips, but I feel that Brentford have left Marcelo Trotta, challenges for the ball there with Burn, rather isolated. They haven't managed to get Forshaw and Donaldson close enough to him. Harley Dean, that took an unfortunate ricochet from his point of view. Madden goes backwards before sending it forwards. It's a good ball for Foley. Here's Edwards. Edwards looks for Madden, and Moore hands out instructions to his fullback Jake Bidwell. Well, Somerset's only Football League club are well placed to progress into the second tier of English football for the first time in their history. Remember, 10 years ago, they were in the conference, winning it under Gary Johnson in his first spell in charge. Well, we had a 3-0 scoreline in the League Two playoff final yesterday. As Bradford City saw off Northampton Town to move up into League One. Today we have 2-0 as the first half draws to a close. Well, from Brentford's point of view, they have to believe. They mustn't think that they're out of this. They must believe that they can have a big second half and get themselves back in it. Maybe force extra time. You can be sure that Gary Johnson will be saying to his Yoevil players, we have to concentrate in the second half and not throw away what we have created for ourselves. Diaguraga. Good ball to Forrester, but look at the double cover. Good overlap from Bidwell. Bidwell with the cross, Trotta with the header. And a pretty comfortable save for Marek Steck. It's just Yeovil's second visit to Wembley in their history. Brentford have been on a number of occasions, but can never win at Wembley. They have a 100% losing record. 3 Football League trophy finals in the 97 playoffs against Crewe. The only one they won was against Stoke in 2002, and that was Millennium Stadium, Cardiff. It's a long way out for a shot at goal. The referee, Andy D'Urso, is saying to Jamie McAllister, wait for the whistle. As Simon Moore organises his defensive wall. Again, Birdie's up. They've got Harley Dean on him this time, which seems like a better choice. They've got the right foot of Upson or the left of McAllister. McAllister goes for goal. No serious threat offered by that free kick. Well, we've had the 4 added minutes. And referee D'Urso blows his whistle to bring the first half of this League One playoff final to a close. There's Dan Burn, scorer of the second goal. Paddy Madden with the first. But Yoevil have looked the sharper. Brentford have struggled to create chances. And we have a half-time score of Brentford 0, Yoevil Town 2. Welcome back to the second half of this N-Power Football League One playoff final between Brentford and Yoevil Town. There's Paddy Madden, scorer of the opening goal, and what a sweet one it was. It wasn't such a sweet half for Brentford, conceding after 6 and 42 minutes with Paddy Madden, Dan Burn, the big centre half there, the scorers. No changes are being made by Uwe Rösler at half-time. His Brentford team, unchanged, will get the second half underway. Well, I wonder what Rösler has had to say to his players at half-time. They're a good team, Brentford. They did not show that in the first half. Yoevil certainly not lacking confidence, having a go from a long way out. As a youth player with Watford before moving on to a number of Football League clubs, Swindon, Rotherham, Hereford and Peterborough. He's now permanently a Brentford man. Here's Forrester. I'm sure that Rösler will have been talking at half-time about belief and about showing people what they can do and how they can play. Here's Bidwell. Dawson stuck with him well, albeit at the expense of a corner kick. Forrester with the in-swinging corner kick. Well, up went Dean, got his head to it. Couldn't steer it anywhere near the goal. Harley Dean, who's come a long way in a short time, 21 years old now. Was signed by Southampton from Dagenham. Didn't get in their first team, but is a key part of that Brentford defence. Clever from Forrester. And Marcelo Trotta is a player with a good reputation. Clever movement, good touch. Goal-scoring ability as well. We have seen so little of it. What can he do here? Dean will get there ahead of Madden. Yoevil. Signs of nerves from Adam Forshaw. Burn. And all the way through to the goalkeeper, Simon Moore. Trying to work out a way of avoiding the giant figure of Dan Burn, I think. Trotter can't get there ahead of Upson. An offside given. quickly taken. There's a little bit of added tempo from Brentford at the start of this second half, and that doesn't come as a big surprise. Byrne with the clearance. Too easily, though. Possession passes from Brentford to Yoevil once more. Foley. Confidently done by McAllister. He'll get it back from Dawson. Time for the line ball. Straight up to Hayter. Hayter just touches it off there to bring in Upson. Edwards spreads the play to get Kevin Dawson involved. Ayling. Well, the header from Craig, who's now got a name and number. Goes out for a throw, which Ayling takes. Hayter just eased off the ball there. Here's Joe Edwards. Adeyemi. Well, the game's really lively and open at the start of this second half, and it's a good run by Donaldson. Byrne matches that run, and it'll be a corner. Well, something for the Brentford supporters to appreciate and make some noise about. Dean with the header! And Brentford are back in it! Forshaw's corner, power-headed in by Harley Dean. And whatever Uwe Rösler said at half-time seems to have had some effect. Well, Webster was the man closest to him, and watch Webster put his head in his hands, because he knows that he has lost Harley Dean, and it's proved expensive. Well, now you can hear the Brentford fans. At last, something for them to get excited about. And if that's not Brentford's first attempt on goal, it's certainly their first meaningful one. There is Harley Dean. Came through it. Dagenham and Redbridge, was loaned out to 5 different clubs. But did well enough at Dagenham when he got into their first team to get a move to Southampton. He rather hit a brick wall there and has rebuilt his career at Yoevil. Here is Dean. Well, Dean's everywhere at the moment. Dean again. Jagoraga comes out on top in that aerial duel. Ball's out of play though, it'll be a throw for Yoevil. Here's Donaldson. Dawson has Ayling on the overlap. Well defended by Forrester. It's struck the corner post and stayed in play, and Forrester brings the ball away. This is an important interception. Oh goodness. Donaldson, who can finish, was so nearly away behind Dan Byrne. Webster sends that forward a little bit aimlessly. And Yoevil just losing their composure a little bit. And there's Clayton Donaldson. You get the feeling this this isn't the last we'll see of the goal scoring in this League One playoff final. Well won by Hayter, back helping in midfield. Dawson, dispossessed. And there's definitely a touch of class about Diaguraga. Just can't catch him in possession, seldom wastes a pass, key part of the Brentford midfield. Here's Adeyemi, his central midfield partner, and that's not a bad ball either, if Logan can get there. Just a little overhit in the end. Yoevil looking a little bit more relaxed. We talked about Yoevil's history in the non-league and with a few good cup runs. Well, Brentford in the 1930s actually played in the top division, the old first division as it was known then, in front of crowds close to 40,000 at Griffin Park, huge standing areas that don't exist anymore. Foley's in a bit of pain here. Brentford actually finished 5th in 1936. It's Madden there, and he's just pulled up following that challenge with Dean. Nothing wrong with Dean's challenge. Well, should it have been a corner, or should it have been a goal kick? Corner was the decision, goal was the outcome. It's a good header from Dean. And Webster knows he's let him go. It's clearly man-to-man, not zonal, that Yoevil are employing. And Madden's ready to come back on, and that's good news for Yoevil. Well, Brentford were last at Wembley in April 2 years ago. They were in the JPT, the Johnson's Paint Trophy final against Carlisle. They lost that by 1-0. They trail this one by 2-1. But it's good and lively at Wembley today. And Brentford are showing far more composure and belief in this second half. Of course, as soon as you say that, the ball's given away. But Edwards, in turn, gives it away as well. Forshaw combines well with Shalliam Logan. Donaldson. And Donaldson will be thinking, that wasn't a bad ball across the face of goal. Where were the runners? And Trotter's there, but he's the only one anywhere near the ball as it's delivered in. Well, I mentioned earlier that they are resilient, Brentford, 23 points from losing positions in the regular season. We need to show a little bit more of that resilience now to draw themselves level against Yoevil, and who knows, maybe force extra time. Or better than that, win in 90 minutes. You could get 7-1 at half-time on Brentford winning in 90 minutes. So I didn't think that was that generous. Upson stretching. Dean gets his challenge in. Here's Craig. Jake Bidwell with him. Dawson takes control, and there's a little ankle tap there from Trotter. Well, Uwe Rosler said before this game that the future of Brentford will be defined by going up or not going up. There are plans for a new stadium not far from the current ground at Griffin Park. If you know that area, it's very close to Kew Bridge Station, a piece of land that they purchased and hope to develop for a new stadium to be open within a couple of years. Yoevil, of course, they've got their new stadium to replace the Huge, with its famous 2.4 metre slope from side to side. The big teams didn't like playing on it, and it did result in some big cup victories. Craig with the free kick. Forrester. You know, it's a great tussle, that one, between Ayling and Forrester. Has been right from the start. Forrester, an England under-17 international in his day. And they're going to make a change, Brentford. I wondered whether they might add to their firepower at half-time with the introduction of Bradley Wright-Phillips, but the on-loan Charlton striker is getting ready to come on. We understand it will be Trotter who is withdrawn. Just hasn't been Trotter's day, though, in his defence. I don't think the service up to him has been particularly good. Logan won't get to that. It's not the way to treat your manager. Burn taking no chances, but losing possession to Logan. Here's Forshaw. Logan. Back to his keeper. And you get the feeling that Simon Moore didn't really want that ball played back to him. An hour played, tremendous entertainment at Wembley Stadium in this League One playoff final. Brentford looked much, much better in this second half. Dean, nudged by Hayter. And here is that change. Bradley Wright-Phillips replacing Marcelo Trotter. So the last game of his loan spell from Fulham ends a little bit early for Trotter, and on comes Bradley Wright-Phillips, half-brother of the England international, Queen's Park Rangers winger Sean Wright-Phillips. Gets involved straight away. Forrester's ball in wasn't too effective. And they've moved Forrester over to the right-hand side. He is right-footed. And they're trying to get a proper strike pairing now of Donaldson and Wright-Phillips. Webster just touches it off Forrester for a goal kick to Yoevil. I think that's a slightly tense look there from Gary Johnson. And if you ever happen to meet him, he's one of the nicest, friendliest guys you could ever hope to come across. Manager of Latvia for a short while in his career, before taking over at Yoevil for the first time in 2001. It was 4 fabulously successful seasons. Craig wants to play the ball to a teammate rather than just hoof it forward, and finally Forrester is available. Here's Logan. Logan's run ends and Forshaw takes over. I'm not sure if that was a cross or a shot. Either way, it will be a corner. Forrester delivers, and bundled just wide by Bradley Wright-Phillips. Steck furious with his defenders in front of him. It's a good header from Donaldson. And Steck got something on it. And Wright-Phillips could not turn it goalwards. Well, the game is open and moving from end to end and providing tremendous entertainment. Upson with the ball forward, and he's found Madden, who seems to be moving freely enough following his treatment for that injury. Ayling. Dawson. This is what Yoevil need to keep the ball a little bit. Hayter. No foul given. I think the Yoevil fans and Hayter as well thought that it should have been. Here's Jamie McAllister. Well, Brentford are lining up a second substitution. I understand Harry Forrester will soon be withdrawn and replaced by one of the more experienced players in Sam Saunders. 29 years old now, over 100 appearances for Brentford since joining them from Dagenham and Redbridge. Just a little bit longer for his introduction. Dawson. Well, he's forced a corner kick, and that will take some of the pressure off Yoevil for a bit, because Brentford have looked quite threatening recently. And we all know what a threat Dan Burn can be. Towering over his marker, and once again his foreshore, which I don't really understand. Dawson's in there as well. So too Webster. Referee Andy D'Urso just having a word about some of the pushing and shoving that was going on before this corner kick could be taken. McAllister with it. Too much pushing, and that will be a free kick to take the pressure off Brentford. We're at the three-quarters mark. It's Brentford 1, Yoevil 2, and here comes that substitution. Harry Forrester is withdrawn and replaced by Sam Saunders. It's like for like. So Forrester, a former Watford youngster who then went to Aston Villa at the age of 15, is withdrawn. He's got a younger brother who is at Milton Keynes Dons. But it is like for like, winger for winger. And Saunders can strike a lovely ball with his right boot. And just see whether he'll go on the left wing and send the ball in with his right, or whether he'll go on the right-hand side and attack the fullback. We'll just update that in a moment. Saunders' first involvement is to bring in Forshaw. Just the finish was lacking from Adam Forshaw. Gives it to Saunders and gets it back. But in the end, it's straight at the keeper. Much, much better from the Bees. Diaguraga. A rare, wasted pass from the Paris-born midfielder. His roots are from Mali. Now Edwards has made that his well. Good strong challenge from Dean. And away in the end by Bidwell. Goodness, what a tempo there is to this football match. Dean with the header once more. Diaguraga. Saunders coming in from the right wing and using Forshaw. Oh, it's calmly done by Upson. Craig. Right, Phillips can't get to that one. Well defended by Webster, and Ayling away. Ayling almost caught in possession by Adeyemi. Well, it could have been an advantage. Instead, referee Durso in the 70th minute shows the first yellow card of the match to Ed Upson. Not been for the flailing leg afterwards as much as the initial challenge. Saunders is over the free kick for Brentford. And that's wasted. And Brentford have made steady progress under Uwe Rösler, 9th last season. 3rd this. Only won League 2 to exit the bottom division in 2009, so they've been a club that's steadily, if not dramatically, been moving in the right direction. And Rösler has certainly played his part. Rösler's first victory as Brentford manager was 2-0 against Yoevil in August 2011. It's also their last victory against Yoevil, and he probably doesn't want to be reminded of that. Just short of 42,000 have turned up at Wembley today. In what was hazy sunshine, and it is now a good bit brighter at Wembley Stadium. Tremendous day out for the fans. And still so much to play for, with just under 20 minutes left. Kept in by Foley. And he finds his fellow Irishman, Dawson. Logan deals with Ayling's cross. McAllister forward, but straight to Dean. Right, Phillips to Forshaw. The fullback Bidwell. It's an important header again from Byrne. On loan from Fulham, Dan Byrne, but he's actually comes from the northeast, from Blythe. His first club was Darlington. Craig had to get that right, and Madden would have been after it. Here's Dean. And a good game, Harley Dean, including scoring the goal that has given Brentford hope. A lot of what Brentford did this season was at Griffin Park. 48 home points, the best in the division. They were pretty hard to beat, Brentford, just 9 defeats in the regular season, joint fewest with Sheffield United. Didn't lose their playoff semi-finals either, of course. Drew both of those against Swindon. The 17th meeting between these teams, and Brentford have won just 5 of them, Yoevil 9 times. Yoevil do have a decent record against these opponents. Still no substitution made by Yoevil. McAllister with the free kick. Turning into quite a tussle between Byrne and Dean. Burns standing his ground. And Dean has really eased him away to create a path for Simon Moore to come and claim the ball. Foley. Byrne alongside him, following that foray forward. Hayter brings in Edwards. I think the ball's going to have to be put out for treatment. Oh no, Yoevil are continuing. And here's Ayling. There's a bit of space for Dawson. Dawson up against Bidwell. Well, he'd be lucky to get a corner for that. And I think goal kick is the decision. Bidwell's furious. He thinks that Kevin Dawson has gone to ground far too easily, and the referee agrees. Yellow card for simulation for Kevin Dawson. Well, there's the merest contact, and Dawson seeks to make the most of it, and for that he is carded. Well, all the time that Dawson was going forward, Jamie McAllister was on the ground. Does get caught very late there, and quite comprehensively by Bradley Wright-Phillips. And this is Brentford's 7th time in the playoffs. They've lost 2 finals, the other 4 they didn't reach the final, never won promotion through the finals, through the playoffs. We head for the final quarter of an hour, but there will be time to add on to the 90, once again for the odd injury or two. Nervous moments for those Brentford supporters. Gary Johnson knows this isn't one yet, despite this excellent 6-minute goal from Paddy Madden. That became 2-0, and no one got a touch to Dan Burns' header following a corner kick. But Harley Dean, at the start of the second half, 6 minutes in, has brought the score back to 2-1. Well, Jamie McAllister doesn't look as if he's going to be able to continue. Yoevil have a left back on the bench. If they want to use Maximenko, Vitalijs Maximenko, who's a Latvian international, who has played for Latvia just the once. He's on loan from Brighton. And quite clearly, there's no chance at all of the captain continuing. So here comes Vitalijs Maximenko, 22 years old. So the captain has gone off injured for Yoevil, and the armband has passed to Byron Webster. Edwards didn't get the connection he wanted. Here's Bidwell. Well, they are both hard-working teams. Yoevil like to press throughout all over the pitch, and they work hard to make sure that the fullbacks are not left exposed. So Luke Ayling, for example, regularly gets good support from Kevin Dawson in front of him, and Sam Foley on the other side will get back and make sure that the fullback is not isolated. And then in midfield, Yoevil press and work and press and work and fight for the right to party and play their passing game. Madden won't get to that, and it goes all the way back to Simon Moore. Here's Dean. Donaldson. Saunders. Well attacked by Webster. Foul there by Logan. Now James Hayter is a striker, once famously scored a hat-trick in his Bournemouth days in just under 140 seconds after coming on as a substitute. Today he's had very little in the way of sights of goal, very little, but he has worked hard. Brentford fans looking nervous. Hayter challenges for that one, knows what it is to score a playoff winner. Scored one for Doncaster against Leeds in 2008. But it has been a much better second half from Brentford's perspective, no doubt about that. But what they need now is a goal, and time is starting to fade away into the last 10 minutes. Well, there will be some to add on. That was very ambitious and optimistic from Sam Foley. Brentford have made 2 substitutions already, and they're lining up their third and final change. We understand it'll be a striker in Paul Hayes coming on. He's just back from a loan spell at Crawley, actually, that went very well indeed, got him his confidence back. Webster. He's overhit that one. Well, it says a lot about the healthy state of the game in England that you can get just short of 42,000 for what is a League One game. I understand it'll be Diego Raga who goes off for Brentford and is replaced by Paul Hayes, and that's a very attacking move. Striker for a central midfielder. And now I guess is the time for Yoevil to take risks. Here's Edwards, still full of running. Foley tries to find Edwards again. Dean is there for Brentford, and Edwards is surely going to let that go out for a throw. And the decision's gone against him. There's confirmation of that change. Tumani Diego Raga, signed from Peterborough in 2010, is replaced by Paul Hayes. And I think we've gone past the stage of even thinking about formations. They will just try and get as many men forward as possible. There's Jamie McAllister, in pain at the moment, but everything will be all right if the score stays like this for the remaining 8 minutes plus whatever is added. Bidwell. Forward by Moore. Adeyemi. And here's Saunders, drifting in from his touchline. Needs a simple ball on. Forshaw is available. And Bidwell's joined the attack. Hayes tries to get his first chance. Instead, it's Wright Phillips that gets a shot away. And it's a decent save from Marek Stek. He's had very little to do in this game. Logan wants a free kick. Brentford will get nothing more than a throw. And here's the effort from Bradley Wright Phillips. And it's close enough to Stek for it to be a standard enough save. Webster with the header. Craig to the busy Bidwell. And he's given that away. And here's Upson Some caught in possession there. It's just a little bit casual. Looks to the referee, but I'm not really sure what he was claiming. Here's Saunders. Sees the overlap of Logan. Saunders has overhit his cross. Adeyemi's gone to ground in the penalty area as the ball went flying over everyone's head. Hayes. You might remember his time at Scunthorpe. And Yoevil are getting ready to make their second change. I understand it'll be Matthew Dolan. And Luke Ayling, the right back, will be the man to go off. So there'll be changes at full back on both sides of the pitch. And that's going to be a free kick as Logan leaves a leg in there. Matthew Dolan has been out for a long time with a knee injury. But the gap between the playoff semi-final and final was just the break he needed to recover. He's actually on loan from Middlesbrough. Foley was the man fouled by Logan. Saunders, brought down by Donaldson. He's with the ball in, but he'll get another turn. Neat back heel to Saunders. Byrne got his head in the way of that bravely, and importantly, here's Saunders with another cross in. Goal kick is the upshot. Yoevil are having second thoughts about the change they were going to make. Matthew Dolan was all ready to come on. But for now, they're leaving it as it is. Gary Johnson urging his players on. Three minutes of the 90 remain, and Dolan is now once again ready to come on. Well, they've decided to take off James Hayter, and I think that's what caused the delay, as they changed who was going off. They've taken off a striker. Hayter is 34 years old, and they have brought on a midfielder, and I think the thinking is they're going to crowd the midfield, and what they have, they want to hold on to. So the on-loan Middlesbrough man, Matt Dolan, 20 years old, can strike the ball beautifully, can take really impressive free kicks. He is on for what may be just over 2 minutes. Could be more than half an hour. We shall see. Byrne with the header. Donaldson lets it go out, quickly takes the throw to Logan. Logan tries to beat Steck at his near post. In the end, it's a good bit wide. ...90 seconds of the 90 minutes. tense faces amongst those Brentford supporters. There'll be some good news for those Brentford fans when the board is raised. We are expecting 6 minutes to be added. And that will suit Brentford much more than Yoevil. Here's Dean. Well read by Maximenko. Won the league with Skonto in his native Latvia in 2010 before joining Brighton. Forshaw. Dean joins the attack. Donaldson keeps it in play. Had to be tipped over by Steck. Brentford have not been in great form recently. 5 games without a win, bar the penalty shootout against Swindon. They need a goal. Saunders takes the corner kick. Dean rises again. Well, they are struggling to deal with Harley Dean. Again, Webster was the marker, but Dean gets above him. It's a good connection. Earlier he scored, this time it's a good bit wide. Well, Brentford have 5.5 minutes to force extra time. Maximenko with the firm header for Yoevil. There's the man with the armband, Tony Craig. Flicked on by Donaldson to Wright Phillips. Here's Saunders. Forshaw's with him instead. He brings in the fullback Bidwell. Away by Ayling. Well brought down by Saunders. He's a very tidy player and he can strike the ball. Power is good, accuracy less so. And that is a good way over the target. Forshaw must get it forward. Logan does so. Hayes struggling to cope with the tempo of this game since coming on as a substitute. Paul Hayes, you might remember his older brother Martin, who used to play for Arsenal and Swansea. Dean with the header. Edwards just gets something on it. Those furious celebrations when Yoevil overcame Sheffield United on Monday the 6th of May could well be about to be repeated unless Brentford can find themselves a goal in the next 3 minutes or so. The pattern has emerged. Brentford are attacking and Yoevil are defending. It's gone past the stage where Yoevil are risking leaving any gaps by pushing players forward. Dean has joined the attack pretty permanently now for Brentford. Well, here's one for Madden to chase. And I think he'd have liked to have been able to hold on to the ball just a little bit longer. Here's Craig. Drives the ball forward. It's offside though, given against Clayton Donaldson. Paddy Madden has really played the striker's role for Yoevil today, always made himself available, full of running, and scorer of an excellent early goal. We're hearing that he's about to be replaced by Lewis Young, but Yoevil will have to hurry up and do so because there's only 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining of the added 6. Here's Saunders. Lovely touch, technical ability, Sam Saunders. May not be the tallest or the quickest, but he's definitely got talent. Right Phillips swivels, can't get a meaningful connection. Madden still running. Foley concedes a throw. Well, was that high studs there? Referee Durso sees nothing wrong with it. I can still see Lewis Young on the halfway line, hoping to get an appearance at Wembley Stadium. His brothers had plenty. Ashley, who plays for Manchester United and England. Madden trying to occupy the defenders. Harley Dean is now permanently pushed forward for Brentford. Ball goes over his head as Byrne clears, and then it's sent out for a throw. You're going to get an unusual yellow card for a substitute here. Gavin Williams is yellow carded without coming on for kicking the ball away. Brentford continue to push forward. Hacked clear by Boland, back helping his defenders. Alan Kernahan with a good catch and a quick throw by Logan. There's confirmation of that yellow card for the former West Ham man, Gavin Williams. The final whistle blows. Yoevil have done it. They've reached the second tier of English football for the first time in their history. The men in green can start the celebrations. They say you should never go back. Don't tell that to Gary Johnson. And over the 90 minutes, Yoevil were the better team. They created the better chances. They scored 2 fine goals, and it's got them promotion to the Championship. When they finished 4th in the League One season, it set a new high for Yoevil Town Football Club. Well, that's just been surpassed by the events at Wembley Stadium today. Desolation for Brentford. It all went wrong in the first half as they conceded goals scored by Paddy Madden and Dan Byrne. They did manage a Harley Dean goal 6 minutes into the second 45 following an Adam Forshaw corner kick. Come on, says Paddy Madden. And it was his goal that started it all off. Congratulations to Yoevil. They set out to come here and not be tourists, not just to enjoy the day, because they know that Wembley is for winners, and they are the winners. The final score in the League One playoff final at Wembley Stadium in front of over 42,000 spectators is Brentford 1, Yoevil Town 2. Well, the skipper's got the armband back on. Jamie McAllister maybe hobbling a little bit, but he wouldn't miss this if he possibly could avoid it. And there he goes, leading his Yoevil players up the Wembley steps to collect the League One playoff trophy. What an achievement this is for Yoevil. Luke Ayling behind him, hardly put a foot wrong. And they're greeted by some of their supporters as they make their way to the Royal Box. Yeah, Dan Byrne, not too much pogoing, but son, or you'll bang your head. And there they are, the Yoevil players, waiting to be called over to collect their trophy. Can you believe it? 10 years ago, they were outside the 4 divisions, playing in the conference, winning it, of course, in 2003 under Gary Johnson. And now Johnson's back. The second spell started in January of last year, and Yoevil are heading to new heights. Jamie McAllister, Luke Ayling, Marek Steck. Little Joe Edwards in the midfield. So busy. Big Dan Byrne. Can't miss him. Scorer of the second goal, whatever James Hayter might say. And this is a special, special time for Terry Skipperton there, former manager. Darren Way was part of the team that won the conference under Gary Johnson. They are Johnson's assistants. Skipperton won League Two and the conference as a player. Marek Steck kisses the badge. The Yoevil fans get ready to celebrate with their players. Well, this crowd doesn't need whipping up as Jamie McAllister, captain of Yoevil Town, lifts the League One playoff winners' trophy. And now it will be passed along the line. Ed Upson. Well, you couldn't point the finger at a single Yoevil Town player and say that they gave anything less than their absolute best. Yoevil Town are the League One playoff winners. The championship awaits. Yoevil Town. Lewis Young.
This program is brought to you by Bet365.com, the world's biggest online sports betting company.